1 year ago. It was 1 year ago when I decided that I wanted to have a nose job. So I saved the money, I got ready, I prepared, and I did all the research that I could about my surgeon. So the surgeon that I found, in fact, lived in another city. So I didn't think that it was going to be that much of a trouble for me and my family to drive for 2 hours to get to see the surgeon and also to get my surgery done, of course. So it was around December 2022 when I was preparing for the surgery, and I did go to a kind of check out appointment consultation, and if I decided that, traveling so far just for this surgery was a good idea, it was only because all the surgeons in my city, obviously many of them, I could tell that are good, that are professional, and that kind of make great noses, that's for sure. However, many of them kind of reproduce the same nose in almost all their patients. So I didn't like that much. So I decided to look for someone else. So my surgeon is very, very cool. She actually makes wonderful noses depending on first your nose, second your bone structure, and third on what you really want on your face, right? So it's not what she wants, but what could also look good on you. So that's why I liked that much the surgeon. Also, I of course read about a lot about her. I did a lot of research about her, so I did kind of know who I was actually working with. So for the people who, in fact, do not remember my nose, my original natural nose, I will leave a little picture right here so you can kind of have an idea. So as you can tell, my nose wasn't the prettiest, and in fact, I would say that it kind of, I have to admit it, it reminded me to Mr. Potato Face's nose. Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against people with those type of noses. However, it wasn't just something that I liked on me. It was just a personal preference. Either way, that was the main reason why I wanted to do this surgery. When I got to my kind of like a checkout consultation, they told me that in fact my nose was in fact also kind of like broken from the inside. So I would say that I one of those very few people that actually go to see a doctor because they want a physical change, but they end up getting also a functional change, and that's pretty great because I have to admit I used to have a lot of trouble by breathing whenever I used to go to the gym. Every time that I needed to breathe like kind of fast or whatever, my nose wasn't just working, and I had to start breathing through my nose, which is obviously pretty bad, pretty bad. Either way, that's what they told me, so it was like, sounds great, let's do it. So I prepared myself again. I saved money. I prepared for everything. I was obviously very nervous. Not that much because I already had another surgery in my life. I think 2 years before that one. So I kind of know that as soon as you get the anesthesia So my first surgery was on January a 25th, I guess, or 22nd, I don't remember, but this was on 2023, alright, January 2023. So, my, again, the experience was kind of senseless for me because I was not really, again, feeling anything at all. But it was when I recovered consciousness that I started to feel some things. So during the surgery, I do remember moving my hand at the rhythm of the music. I do remember that. I really don't know for how long I was like that, but I feel like it was for quite a few moments, but I wasn't feeling anything. I remember that I was actually feeling movement on my nose and a little bit of pressure, you know. I think that I did feel when they broke my nose, because basically they broke it in, I think, 6 pieces to kind of remake it all again. So I do kind of remember a little bit of that. Either way, it was until I woke up that I started to feel so sick. I wanted to throw up a lot, and I think that it was because during the surgery you are bleeding a lot, but because of the position that you are in, because you're basically kind of like lie down, I think that I was like swallowing a lot of my blood, because I do remember doing like stuff like that during the surgery. So that was kind of horrifying. Anyways, when I recovered consciousness, I felt nauseous, but I did not throw up. I didn't, but I was, of course, very dizzy. But it was totally normal. I, of course, started to feel a little bit of pressure in my head, etc. But it was completely normal. The problem was when I actually got my first picture, my first selfie. If I find it, I will put it here in the video. But as you can tell, I think that my nose wasn't looking that great, you know. I feel like it was looking a little bit bad, you know. I feel like the shape that it had was not the greatest, and yeah, the size, everything just looked kind of off, you know. But I thought that it was completely normal. Either way, I was so happy. I was extremely excited. So yeah, the thing is that I did kind of ignored the fact that it was looking picture. However, as weeks started to pass by, I started to notice something very, very, very strange that I did not like at all on the bridge of my nose. So I think this is called the bridge, and it was in this side that I started to see a little kind of huge bump, something like a little bulge in this area of the nose that made my nose look so bad, so uneven, so extremely sad. Because since the little bump was in this side, if I looked at myself this way in the mirror, I wouldn't notice it. It would look just exactly as what you're looking right now. In fact, if you remember my last year's videos, you may notice that I always try to show this side of my face, and it was because of that reason. Because this side looked pretty good, it looked really, really good. Because it looked almost exactly the same as what you're looking at right now. However, whenever I looked at myself like facing directly to the mirror, I noticed that my nose was not totally straight. It was kind of like doing like a J or C form, So it was pretty bad, and the worst part was whenever I used to look at myself facing the mirror like this, because the little bump that was in the right side kind of made like a huge bulge that was extremely noticeable in the left side of my face. So all the pictures, all the videos that I took last year were completely facing the camera like this, and yes, it was extremely sad, extremely depressing. However, I kind of understood that maybe it was just a natural process of my healing journey, And when I started to ask to my doctors about it, they said that it was not because of the technique that was used during my surgery. It was not because of my caring at all. It was in fact due to the way that my body was healing, because in this area where the little kind of huge bulge was, I used to have something like exactly that, a little kind of like, thing, So your body has memory, right? So when my nose started to heal and recover, my nose kind of remembered how it used to look like. So I think that it recreated that look, which is obviously horrible. So that's the thing, that my nose was not looking the best at all. But I tried to be positive, I did get some shots of medicine on my nose in that area specifically to kind of reduce the size of the little bulge. However, it did not got to disappear completely. What they told me that was going to happen is that I was going to need a second nose job surgery. It felt kind of sad because, as I mentioned before, it was something that I had wanted to do for a very long time since I was much more younger. And also, of course, I didn't like my nose, my natural nose. And now that I had a nose job, I wasn't loving my nose either. So it felt very, very sad for me to, just have to do it all over again. But there was literally nothing that I could do about it, so I just went with it, and I tried to just be okay with the fact that my nose was looking extremely gorgeous this side, but extremely horrible in the left side, So it was so sad. because when you know, you know. And I decided that the best day to do it was to do it on December 18th. So yeah, um, my last surgery was on December 18th, and I was completely much more calmed about it. You know, I was kind of, yes, nervous, but also very excited because something that they don't tell you about having a nose job is that you actually might need a second surgery. You know, because again, it's not your surgeon's fault, neither yours because of your caring or whatever, not at all. But many times, like in this case, your body kind of does not heal in the best way possible, so it's kind of okay to have a second surgery just to fix certain details, reduce, I don't know, whatever your body could have created during the healing process or whatever. So that's what happened, and that's what we did in this second surgery. So in the second surgery, I was much more calmed about everything. I was extremely exhausted. I feel like I slept like 4 hours the night before my surgery. So when they, put anesthesia on my body, I just fell asleep. I fell asleep and I did not wake up until the surgery was completely done. And I was totally okay, I was totally okay. It was until I got into my car that I started to feel extremely bad. I felt a lot of pain that I did not feel the first time. But I was suffering. I was suffering in my car, but I was like looking at myself in my on my phone, and I was so happy because this time my nose looked completely different. It looked smaller, even, pretty, curved. It looked just perfect for me, and I was so happy about it. Although, yeah, I was dying. So, after a few hours, we kind of found out why I was like suffering that much, and it was because just as the previous time 1 year ago, I swallowed all my blood. The difference was that in my first surgery, when I was returned to home, I was still bleeding a lot, right? But all the blood that I was bleeding was coming out from my nose, But this time I was kind of like this in my car. So basically, all the blood that I was bleeding was being swallowed by me. So it got to a point in which I just threw up. I threw up everything. And after I threw up all the blood, I felt just completely better. I felt perfectly fine. So it was all the blood that I was swallowing. And I have to admit, since they did not have to break anything the second time, the recovery process was much, completely better. I did not feel like sick. I did not feel like I was actually recovering. I felt like I just had something on my nose, but that it was totally okay. So yeah, it was a much more easier process to go through, and I liked it. I really enjoyed it a lot because again, I was able to just was told that I have to have some radio frequency therapy, so we avoid creating any type of bad scarring, internal scarring inside my nose. So yeah, I'm trying to to stay okay with it, to the fact that it looks a little bit big, but it's okay. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how this nose just evolves. So that's it, guys. I will have my first radio frequency therapy session this Friday, I guess. So I really hope that everything goes really well, and that I just really hope that I can finally get to have the nose of my dreams. You know, I know that for so many people it would be like, oh my god, you literally went through all of this just because of your nose, when you should just like accept yourself. And let me tell you something, guys. I mean, yes, you should obviously love yourself. You should obviously accept yourself the way that you are. However, I totally admire much more the people who actually do something to change the things that they don't like about themselves, you know? Because, well, at the end, I got to this world not deciding how I was gonna look, you know? I did not decide to get to this world with the nose that I got naturally, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. However, I decided